Shalom, shalom. We are the real, true Hebrew Israelites. Before we open up, we want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekakadash. Double honors to our apostles and bishop elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to all the Akim out here laboring in this truth and truth and sincerity. All right. Basically, we're having an indoor camp today. It's locked in. Tap to see. Salakia, we having an indoor camp today because of the weather, off and on raining, and now they said some lightning and thundering. But we just gonna go ahead and do it inside for today. But go ahead, brother. What you want to open up with? Can I read for you?
You want? Open up that Matthew 18:8.
Let me grab that real quick in the blue letter.
We're just talking about, Lord in His life. Everything requires a sacrifice. The Lord, before you move you up on the level, you have to, sacrifice things, man. And it may be something that you hold near and dear to. Just like on the left hand, in the Illuminati, Esau, for celebrities to move on the level, they do it wickedly. They sacrifice their loved ones, some shit like that, killing them or something. But we know that the left hand mimics the right hand. Within our walk, for the Lord to move you on a level or to get you on the path that you want to go, you may have to, let go of something that probably be near and dear to you. Not to say that the Lord is not going to give it back to you, but in order for us to, get to the kingdom, as the days approaches closer and closer, the Lord's going to require more of a sacrifice from us, man. As society begins to crumble, we're going to have to pretty much, the Lord teaches us to let this world go. And that could be anything, a job, pride, family, old people, habits, things, that can hinder your growth. The Lord teaches us to sacrifice these things, cut it off. Because it can be a hindrance, in your walk, You should start.
Matthew 18:8. He says, "It is better for thee to enter into life or remain, rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet to be cast into the everlasting fire."
God, so the Lord said, it's better to, and it's not talking about literally pluck your goddamn eye off or cut your own damn arm off. It's talking about, symbolically, whatever's hindering you from really fully serving the Lord, you got to learn to cut it off, man. And once again, like I said, that could be anything. That could be, old environments. It could be people, relationships. It could be your job, pride. You got to learn to cut these things off, man. Because the scriptures say what? The Lord, we got to make our bodies a living sacrifice. And as we get up on certain levels, the Lord, because sometimes the Lord will block you from a blessing, because you got to learn, what's the word I'm looking for? Sometimes the Lord be want to give you something, but in order for you to receive a particular blessing, you have to learn to let something go. And everybody know what you got to let go. We all got our own personal walk,
Some things you have to let go could be a hindrance in your walk. And sometimes you don't even see it at first, because sometimes it be the least things that you would think about that could be the hindrance. But it could be very well the thing that's a hindrance to you and your growth. It could be your woman. It could be your children. It could be, like the brother said, your job. It could be all of these different things that's holding you back, from, elevating in this faith.
God.
Some stuff you just got to, get built up first, in the spirit. You got to get built up more in the spirit, man. And the spirit of discipline. And sometimes the Lord, He'll remove these things out of your life so you can have more discipline, man.
And if I may,
go ahead, my brother.
If I may, too, a lot of times we don't like to let these things go because what? Out of fear.
Yep, that's it.
It really be fear or comfort, because it brings comfort. But like the old saying, comfort can kill. Right? It's truth. Like the apostles elder said, you got to get used to being comfort being uncomfortable. You know? Because what old saying, comfort kills. But remember, at the end of the day, this is not our rest. This is not our world. You know? Should say, rise ye and depart, for this is not our rest. So, and the Lord is teaching us, and I'm speaking to myself, you know, certain things in life, you may have to cut off, you know? And the Lord will show us to us through repeated patterns. You may notice a certain pattern of things you're going through. And the Lord will show it to you, like, you know, you're like, damn, why I keep going to the eventually Lord will, if he love you, eventually show it to you. But this is why you going through. You got to learn to cut this shit off, you know?
It's so crazy because it be the Spirit putting it on you to ask that. Yeah. Why am I keep going through this?
Yeah.
And then you be searching and trying to figure it out. And then, like you said, hey, the Lord, he'll show it to you. Like, look, this is why you keep going through what you're going through.
Okay.
You need to get this out your life right here. This is the thing you need to work on. You need to make that a less priority. You know, and do this more.
Okay.
This is verse 9. He said, and if thine eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee.
God.
It is better for thee to enter into life with one eye rather than having two eyes to be cast into hell. Fire.
God, so it's better for you enter maimed than whole. You know, because another thing I learned, you know, we got to remember, nothing in this world, everything is temporal.
Yeah.
You know, everything in this world temporal, man. And like I said, it's easier said than done. You know, we ain't gonna say it like, you know, it's easy for us to just let certain things go. You know, it's a process. That's why you got to pray. You got to fast on these things. You know, you got to seek counsel and guidance. You know, you got to, like the brother Shamari, like I said, you got to utilize your tools, man. You know, the Lord, he'll give you the answer. Because sometimes we be asking for things and the Lord will give you the answer, but it may not be the answer you want. And through your pride and your, you know what I'm saying, you trying to, no. And the Lord's showing you through many voices or through many revelations, this is what it is. But you trying to trick yourself into thinking it's something else. Like, no, this is what it is. You got to cut this off. You know, and that comes through what? Pride, you know, fear, you know, worries. You know, and the Lord, you don't want us to be, you know, that pretty much being unfaithful, man. That shows a lack of faith. You know, the Lord is the scriptures say, without faith, it's impossible to please him, man. You know, a lot of us, you know, we fear the unknown. You know, because one thing Jake, and I'm speaking to myself, you know, Jake don't like change. It's very uncomfortable to Jake, man, because you get settled. You know, Jake, that's how we are. We like to, you know, Jake. And that's why Jake was walking in the fucking wilderness for 40 damn years, because they were so comfortable being in Egypt. They wanted to go back. They want to go back to what they remember. Instead of stepping out on faith and just like Joshua and Caleb, like, man, we finna, you know.
All about, man. You know, leaving this world behind.
God.
Even the things that is hindering you in your growth. You know, that's why even we're dealing with a woman. You know, like especially in these times we're living in. You know, it said in Sirach, it said, give the water no passage. If she do not what you tell her to do, cut her away from your flesh and give her the bill of divorce.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because a woman can be a hindrance, man. You know, me personally, I witnessed that in my life growing up. You know, seeing some different things, man. You know, especially with dealing with women. You know, personally, even with my loved ones, looking at what they deal with women, man. You know, a woman can be a big ass hindrance in your growth, man. She can stop your growth if you're weak in the faith. You know, if you don't have a backbone, you know what I'm saying, or a footing in your how about Shem Yahushua. I see grown men, you know, go out there with sin, you know, over a woman. Even I probably done it before in life. Back when I was a younger man, not knowing anything. You know?
God. If I may, Elder, can I get this real quick?
Go ahead, brother.
So I type in the chat GPT that Matthew's 8 and 8, and I asked, how does it apply to believers today? It says, for believers today, Matthew's 18:8 is called to deal decisively with anything that consistently draw you away from the Most High.
That's it.
Yahushua's words are intentionally strong to show that sin is not something to manage casually. It is something to turn away from. So I asked, so it says, here are some ways this applies today. Remove sources of temptation. If a relationship, habit, websites, apps, substance, or environment repeatedly leads you into sin, wisdom may mean creating distance from it or cutting it off completely. And a lot of us, certain habits or environments we may be in that cause you to go astray, man. And you will notice it's a repeated process, but through discernment, that's why discernment is so important, because discernment, it teaches you notice the pattern. Because with you're like, oh shit, I gotta fix this shit, man. If the Lord love you, you'll recognize it eventually. He'll give you the spirit of changing, man. Hold on real quick, Slocky. It says choose obedience over comfort. Follow the Mashiach sometimes require giving up things that feel important if they interfere with your walk with them. It goes back to what we were saying, man. Comfort, man. Hey, people, you get to in this routine, you can become comfortable in your job, your relationship, or certain things you may do. But doing these things, it leading you to what? Not serve the Lord to your fullest potential. Because why? It's comfortable to the flesh. The Lord like, no, man, it's time for you to cut that shit off. Because now, as the time progresses, the Lord is requiring us to fully, require us to be more and more focused on Him, man. Because He's the one that's going to get us through out of this. Not your damn job, not your woman, not your kids, not your, whatever it could be. Your friends in the world. None of those things going to help you get through the times to come. But Yahweh Shem Shah.
Just like what you said, the focus.
Yeah, come.
You know what I'm saying? That's why He said to be what? Single.
Come.
Because you can't have your focus in the world. You're still trying to be in this truth.
Mm-hmm.
Because what the world will try to come in and be safe, deliver you something that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it ain't good.
God.
And if you ain't locked in, you know what I'm saying, you can fall for it if you ain't locked in. That's why you gotta be locked in, man. If you look up the word offend in that verse 9.
Can we look it up?
It's like make sure 18 and 9. Look up that word offend real quick.
18 is okay. Bear with me real quick.
Yeah, take it to that.
Matthew's 18 now. Hold on, I got it. Fin. Yeah, the fin go to scandalizo, or like scandalous, to put a stumbling block or the impending in the way upon which another may trip or fall.
Hey, hold on. I got it right here for you.
That's in the blue letter.
Yeah, it's in the blue letter.
It says to trip up, entice to sin.
Hold on.
Strong's G 4624 scandalizo.
Scandalizo.
Like a scandal or scandalous or something.
Scandalizo. Well, yeah, go ahead, read it again.
It says to put a stumbling block or impending in the way upon which another may trip or fall, to entice to sin, to cause to fall away. Offense, man. And that could come in many ways, man. Like we're saying, a job, old environments, people, old habits. Hey, the Lord requires, as we get older, man, certain things that, in the truth, that may be lawful, that the Lord may have, before you get to a certain level, you may have to cut it off, and it may be lawful. It may at the time, it may been expedient, but at this time, it may not be expedient. It could be anything, man. Like drinking. Sometimes the Lord may look at it, younger, drinking. As you get on the level, the Lord may like, I want you to cut that off. Because why? The times that come, I'm gonna need you. It's gonna require you to be more sober now. I'm just using these things as an example, and we all know what it is, man. The Lord showed us to us, and I'm just using that as one of many examples. It could be anything, man. Because now as we get closer and closer to the end, the Lord's gonna require us to focus more and more, man, to be more and more locked in. Because why? This world is fading away. The scriptures say, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. People are becoming more psychotic. People are becoming more wicked. So knowing that, we got to be more locked in these times, man.
Right, because you don't want to stumble.
God.
You know what I'm saying? Because this was their word also going to the Strong's definition.
God.
If you read it down in the Strong's definition.
We read them down. Since one who stumbles or whose feet get entangled feels annoyed, to cause to displeasure things, Because when you go down, it says to stumble or entrap or entice to sin.
Apostasy.
Apostasy, man.
False prophecy.
Yeah, that too.
You know what I'm saying? Or displeasure. Make to or offend. That's going back to those distractions.
Gone.
You know what I'm saying? Because of false philosophies, things that sound to feel, shit that sounds good, you can get trapped up in that.
Gone.
You know?
I got a quick precept real quick.
And those are the things that offend. That's why you gotta be focused. You gotta be focused in this thing through the spirit. We gotta be locked in. There's all types of apostasies out here. All types of separated from that, man. Through the spirit, probably out our shoot out a shot. And we gotta be in the spirit, man, to defend the gospel of Yahweh shooting out a shot. There's so many false prophets out here, man, out here selling these people, false doctrine. It's just madness, man. These motherfuckers out here saying that. I'm talking about guys who call themselves pastors or ministers, or they actually saying that it's okay to be gay. Bugged out, bro. Bugged the hell out, man. And the Lord told us to do what? Blow the trumpet, man, and tell my people my transgressions. Tell my people they transgress. I tell them it's okay to transgress. But that's the world we live in, man. All of these false prophets out here telling them it's okay to transgress. These are the things that are offensive, man. These are the things, man. You got to be locked in the spirit, man. That's why you can't be holding on to shit in this world, man. Nothing, man. You got to let it all go. These are the things that's offensive. Go ahead, brother.
I got a quick 2 Timothy 2:1. It says, thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Mashiach Yahushua. And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. It says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua Mashiach. No man warreth entangled himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him to have chosen him to be a soldier. So Lord said we can't be entangled with the affairs of the life, the cares of this world, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because why? It can entangle you up. It can trap you up. It can choke the spirit.
It's a snare.
It's a snare, man.
Yep.
And it's going to say, be mind. We walk in the peril of our overthrow. At any moment, one bad move could be your last move, man. So we got to be mindful of what we say, what we do. Especially around others. Especially of our own. We got to be mindful of our own actions. We speaking to ourselves, man. You can't get caught because this world is designed to pretty much keep you away from Yahweh Shai. And Satan, he's going to use every avenue to pretty much to cause you to lose faith and trust in the Lord, man, to get you back into the world. That could be anything, man. A job, career, it could be anything. Social media. There's a lot of distractions. So you find yourself, you on hours just doodle scrolling, looking at ass all goddamn day. That can be a distraction, man. You wonder why you got a sexual deviant demon and all the things. You think about box all goddamn day because you never ask yourself, damn, that I was scrolling on TikTok, or social media looking at cheeks, man. Remember we're in a spiritual war, man. One of the stumbling blocks, I think it was they threw upon Jake coming out of Israel, was the god Baal Peor, which goes to the god of the open, goes into a sexual perversion. We see that a lot, man. That's why Esau, they push these women to be like, ass cheeks out, because that could be a distraction, man. Especially a man that's on a mission. It says, I'm going to read that again in verse 4. It says, no man warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please whom had chosen to be a soldier. So remember, we're soldiers. We're not civilians. This ain't our world, man. This is not our world. This is not our rest, man. And we got to remember the mission. A soldier understands his mission, his duty. His duty is not to his family. It's not to his job. It's not to, anything. It's to Yahweh B'Shai, man. The Lord, he enlisted us, man. He chosen us to be soldiers, man.
He lights.
Gone.
You know what I'm saying? Into the world, man. I got a precept. You still read that?
You got it. You got it.
Real quick. You can break it down. This is Matthew 5:16. He said, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works
God.
and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
God. And you could dim your own damn light.
Yep.
By what? Getting back into worldly things, man. You know? You don't want to do that, man. Be dimming your own damn light. You know? The Lord said, let your light shine. How you let your light shine is what? By serving Him. You know, applying, you know, being hearers, not just hearers, but doers also, man. Not being a hypocrite. And I'm speaking to myself, man. You know? And you know yourself better than anybody. You can put on the front to brothers, do all the lessons. You know what you're doing, man. You know? The Lord knows.
That's so mindful too, man. And could have the Lord take you through these different experiences, you know, in His walk, man, being in the faith, man. You know, Paul knows how about shooting out a shot. You know, how He keep us, you know, seeing all this craziness and madness in the world, man. You see so much, but the covering of the Lord, you know, of our spirits, even our minds. You know what I'm saying? Not to go off and, you know, and basically engage, you know, in the folly. Hey, that's the Lord, man. At the end of the day, keeping us covered, man. Through the Spirit of God, I was thinking about that. Man, bro, that's mighty. Yeah, I got another precept.
You got it.
Go ahead, brother. I'll let you get yours first.
I'm just waiting to slide in.
Go ahead, brother.
This Luke chapter 21, it was starting 33. It says, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting, and drunkenness, and cares of this life, and so that they come upon your lips. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell for the face of the whole earth.
The snares. Basically, a snare is a trap.
God. Because, you know, getting into the spirit, I want to have a good time all the time. We're in the times of having good times. Scripture said there's a time and a season for everything. We're not in a time of party and mirth. Scripture also said Ecclesiastes 7, it's better to go into the house of mourning than to the house of feasting, man. We're in a time of having a good damn time, man. Because when you're having a good time, you don't even, you know, saying Janet Jackson, funny how times fly when you're having a good time. Before you know it, the end right there. And the Lord at the door, man. The Lord said, well, we got to redeem the times, man. Fuck, there ain't no time to be partying and having a good time, man. It's not to say we don't go out and have a drink, you know, eat some food and enjoy listening to music, but that ain't the end all be all. That's not the focus, man. The focus, the mission is in getting the fuck up out of here. Getting salvation, man. Guiding the elect and getting them better out of here, man. You know?
Man, it's basically whatever's carried into your flesh.
Mm-hmm.
It says, that it cares of his life.
Mm-hmm.
So,
God.
going back into what you were saying, also that Lord intended himself to be fair to his word. You know, verse 36, watch you therefore and pray always that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. And that's what we, you know, really want to be able to do, man. Stand in front of the Son of Man, in front of your shine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have done all to win, man.
To stand.
Yeah.
Like, you know, fight this good fight of faith.
Haven't done all, man. So the Lord sees you. You know, man, you in this flesh. When you see the Lord, hey, not to speak on any other brother, but for me, man, you know, your consciousness, we have a conscience, man, so you still gonna probably think about all the things that you did. You know what I'm saying? Looking at you have a shot, man, full of shame. You know? Hey, but the Lord see you was trying, man, he may find you accountable. He might find you accountable to something. Like, you know, I got you, man. It's okay. I know you made mistakes. You know, but you got back up. You kept on pushing towards the mark.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a mercy on you, forgive you. And then that's what's going to make the mercy of the Lord even that much more beautiful. Because you know you didn't deserve it. truly thankful for it, man. Because, you know, the thing is, man, this earth is going to pass away, as the Lord said, man, but at the same time, man, you know, the thing of the man of the Lord is to let our Lord down, man. That's our biggest fear, man. Seeing the Lord not accepting you as one of his, man, and that shit'll hurt you. You know? That shit'll hurt you. You know, the Lord did straight thing when you see him. You know?
If I may, you don't want to pretty much, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Chase after temporary, what's the word I'm looking for? Shit. Kind of slipped my mind. You got it, bro. Pretty much, you don't want to, pretty much you chasing temporary satisfaction, you know, temporary pleasure that's going to cost you everlasting life, man. You know, this world, you got it, bro. It kind of slipped my mind how I was going to bring it up, but you got it, bro.
This is 1 Timothy 4. Let me start at 13. This is till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy, with the land of the heads of the presbytery. So basically, man, you know, we was going into that yesterday, man, having your eyes seen. You know what I'm saying? Being focused. Alright? Because that's how you're gonna overcome all of this, man. You know, being you know, basically being like a bookworm, man. Your eyes is just steady on the word of the Holy Spirit, man. You know, no distractions. You know, you just, you know, lock in like the brothers going into, man. You know, hey, because we all got tried there on the other side of the line first. We had to show attendance, all right, good attendance. We had to, like, the Lord was trying in the spirit, he was catching hell, he was losing things that you love in the world to come serve the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, you got to go through that sheepfold, man. And that sheepfold, you have to go through the correct channels, man. Just can't go out there just teaching, you know. You're not equipped to. You know, you got to be learned, man. Right?
Hey, if I may, because remember, we're on a journey to the kingdom. We brought out that yesterday. We got to be as pilgrims. And we're traveling. You don't want to travel heavy, because that can slow you down. You know, you want to travel light. You know, and if something's caused you not to move forward, you may have to cut that shit off. Like, you know what? This shit's holding me down. I can't, you know, like, fans, you may have to climb over to to get to the kingdom. You may have to climb this mountain. You may require you have to, you know what? I got this book bag on me. I probably have to drop this bag just to get over to the mountain. You know, because why? If you don't drop this bag, you ain't gonna have the strength enough or the endurance to get over this mountain. You know, and that could be, and I'm using that bag or anything as an example. It could be anything that's whole ball and chain. You don't want to be, have a ball and chain. You're on a journey. You know.
Something that could be a detriment to you.
God.
Verse 15. Meditate upon these things. Give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. So basically, he said, take heed to yourself, man. You know, watch yourself, man. Make your steps. You know, make sure you make the correct steps, man. You know, sometimes, man, your flesh can be blinded. It really can. You know, and then you'll fall into a trap, a snare in Esau's, man. You know, or a snare in your own flesh, man. And then, you know, you gotta correct yourself. You know, you gotta correct yourself, man. The Spirit will tell you how about you never shot. He'll let you know. He'll let you know what's the fall clear, and then you start to see everything clearly. You know, because in this walk in Babylon, man, you literally living in the land of confusion, man. So there's a lot of confusion here in Babylon, man. You'll catch yourself, you know, in situations where you don't have the proper understanding of things, man. You know, and all of that, still trying to do the best we can, you know, to do the right things, man. But you know, the Lord is showing you, man. The Lord, that's what we're here for, man, to learn, you know, and to overcome more so yourself, man. All right, because we can go out here teaching everybody else, telling them what they need to do and how they should move, but it's about what the Lord would do, man. So take heed to yourself, man. And then, like you said, get more right back with it, man. And Satan is crafty, man. He knows scriptures too. So that Satan really is within you at the same time, because you'll be your flesh will be trying to give you scriptures to justify these of your actions in this even brothers that's with you, but hey, the Lord is gonna always gonna give you a way out. You know, if you seek it to do the right thing.
Can I get some more?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to that Luke 21 because I read it. I already read it in the NLT. I'm gonna start at 34. It says, "Watch out! Don't let your heart be dulled by carousing and drunkenness, and by the worries of this life. Don't let that day catch you unaware." The Lord said, "Don't get caught up in the worries of this life, man. You're just worrying, man. Because this whole here, being as a Babylon, America, man, this whole place is called. You always in a state of worrying." Worrying about this, you worrying about your bills, you know what I'm saying? No, the Lord, told us to pretty much cast all our burdens upon Him, man. You know, that's what this world push, man. You know, it says, don't let that day catch you unaware, like a trap. For that day will come upon everyone living on the earth, because it's going to come like a trap. You don't want to be, as you say, you don't want the Lord come upon you as a thief in the night, unaware. And remember, we're the children of light. We know what times He's in, man. We know we're in a time of partying. You see what's going on? That fucking viruses everywhere, ticks and shit. People losing their mind, or killing each other. And we in the Midwest, it's like notice there've been like hella storms just coming through this area. You know, this area ain't used to having severe. We get good thunderstorms, like just tornadoes and shit. That's the Lord plaguing this place, man. The Lord showing He's fed up with this place. These are the signs that we at the end. You got these small hats playing victim. You know, World War III is on the rise. So we know, the times when we know persecution is coming. You know, also we know a lot of these people that we love gonna be the same ones turning our ass in, try to turn us in. So the Lord just causes us to separate more from this world, man. He wants us to separate more from this world, man. You know, and at the end of the day, we ain't missing out on shit anyway, man. What you missing out on? A fucking cheeseburger and some used box, some fucking bowling alley. You know what I'm saying? A movie theater. That's what you missing out on, man. You know, we experience all these things. Now, one thing we experience is what? Salvation. You know, the Lord, we had our taste of fair share of this world. Now, Lord, that's enough. Now it's time to focus on me. You know, because the Lord got something better for us, man. It's the kingdom of heaven, man. Everlasting life. True peace and rest, man. That's something this world can never offer us. True peace, man. None of us understand true peace. I'm speaking to myself. I don't even understand how true peace, to be truly at peace, we don't understand that, man.
Just like it's real, like no man of war. Take himself with the affairs of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no time for peace.
Mm-hmm.
Save the time for it, man. It's the time. We warn.
Yeah, we warn.
In the spirit. We're warned in the spirit, so we got to be prepared. Through the spirit part now. Satan is shooting so many fiery, and he's walking around like a warrior, looking for who he can devour.
Mm-hmm.
And if he see an opening, he's gonna be in on you.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick,
that was it. All you got it. Yeah.
This is Ephesians 6:10. I'm gonna read it in NLT. It said, "A final word: be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power. Put on all the Most High's armor, so that you will be able to stand firm against all strategies of the devil."
Oh.
And look at the word he used. It says strategies. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's all about. It's strategies, man. To stop you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that you don't win.
Right.
To stop you, man, from winning the race. There's all types of obstacles and shit, man. It's popping up in your life. But you got to be equipped in faith. You know what I'm saying? To get over these obstacles, man. To withstand these storms. Things, man. You know? It says, "For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in heaven, in the heavenly places.
Hey, evil spirits, man. That's why in these times too.
Yep.
You know, hey, we support some prayer, so we got to pray now more than ever. But also with that prayer, you got to implement fasting more. I'm speaking myself, because why? As you go on and get up on different levels in this truth, man, them demons gonna get stronger and stronger, man. Especially as we get closer and closer, man. You could feel it. I think I watched the Elder Guy Shemama video yesterday, man. You could feel the evil more and more now. You could feel it more.
It's heavy.
It's heavy, man.
And you know, if you locked in the spirit, that's the mighty thing about it, man. That's why we got to be locked in.
Yeah. I got that word for strategy real quick.
Hold on, it's like let me see something.
Gosh.
Go ahead, get that word strategy.
Strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I just looked it up. Hold on, I just had it. Yeah, it says strategy in the Enema, past pains, because Satan like to play on that shit too. That's why you got to cast all that against the Lord and let the Lord handle that, man. You know, bitterness. You know, you may allow a past to, call you the bitter, and you call you to do, trying to cope with it by carnal means. No, you got to let, forgive and let it go and give it to the hands of the Lord, man. You know, hey, we got to lean upon, like, I'm going to use that, like the other once again, so we got to lean upon Yahweh Shai more in these times, man. He's our shield. He's our buckler. He's our helmet. Hey, the brother Shamario told me about that yesterday, man. We got to utilize our tools, man. Because sometimes Jake get in a situation and you ain't using your tools. The Lord gave us the tools. What's the tools? His word, prayer, fasting, and brotherhood. We got to remember those tools. And what Satan like to do, he's like to keep you in a state of confusion. Keep you stressed and anxiety.
And we got the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, these people in this world, they don't know. They don't know they don't even know what the Holy Spirit is.
Mm-hmm.
They think they're stupid and hollering and breakdancing in the church. They don't understand it's the words of Yahweh. That's where the power lies at. Through the words. They don't understand that the word of the Lord is living. This word literally instructs us, and guides us, and it protects us. You know what I'm saying? That's what they don't understand. The world can't get that. This is a beautiful gift that we have, man. The Rakakadash. Hey, the Lord showed me that, man. Like, over the last few days, man, dealing with, certain people, man. They honestly think going to school, getting an education or whatever, they think that's the way out. They honestly think that's where the power lies, man. These people are dead. Dead, and they have no understanding, man, that the truth is here. But the only reason why they look at it like that is because, like the brother we was talking about it earlier, they look at us like we're unlearned. You know what I'm saying? We didn't go to seminary and theologian school.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go to those schools. We just some, YNs or, or lowlifes or whatever, No, man, it's the Spirit of the Lord, man, that ordains. None of that other stuff matters, man. It's the Spirit of Yahweh Shai that ordains, the Kakadash. You know what I'm saying? That's what guides us, and leads us, and instructs us, and keeps us. The Spirit of the Lord is power in the Holy Spirit.
Hey, can I get a quick precept real quick?
Go ahead, brother.
This is a quick one. This is 2 Samuel 22 and 31. It says, as for the Most High, His way is perfect.
Yep.
The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all them that trust in Him. So the Lord said His word that's the weapon. The power is the word, but you got to utilize the word. You got to use the word. That's where the power lies. You got to believe in it. Because when you use it, that means you believe in it. And the Lord's going to show you it works. Like prayer. Prayer works. Speaking for myself, man, you forget to pray sometimes, man. You want to like Satan fucking you up, you think like, damn, where I'm going? The Lord, like, did you pray? Like, no, I did. Or fasting. The Lord, some demons, the Lord, like, bro, you can't get over this, but by praying and fasting. And it ain't just fast. Wait till you get to the gym to fast. That's when Jay like to fast when he's in hell. Like, no, you gotta fucking prepare for the battle. You may have to fast before the battle come. Cause you know, we may be going good, man. Things may be going good. You're like, let me fast real quick. So when that time come, Satan come, you prepared. You sharp because you already prepared for him, man. You don't want to wait till you in the jam, then also you gotta fast. You know, you might well start practicing before it happens, man. I'm saying this like not like I got it all together. I'm figuring this out now in my walk. And the Lord showed me you got to prepare for these things. How you prepare? You may have to fast before a certain temptation come. You know, you bound in a particular demon. You know, like this keep coming. Let me prepare so when he do try to tell him I'm already equipped to fight his ass. You know, that's with anything. You know, it's like you got it.
No, you good, brother. This is Ephesians 6:13. He said, therefore put on every piece of Yahweh's armor, so you will be able to resist the enemy in the time of evil.
All right.
Then after the battle, you will still be standing firm.
Mm-hmm.
See? Because what is that armor too, man? You gotta look at what every piece of the armor is. You know? You gotta put on every piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that armor is the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Ultimately, you know, it's going to go into it as we read on in verse 14. It says, stand your ground, putting on the belt of truth and the body armor of the Most High's righteousness. Because when you put on the belt of truth, who gonna be able to come against you when you got on the belt of truth, man? Because that's what girt you up. You know what I'm saying? It's this truth, man. It's the truth. You know, no man could be able to gainsay, you know what I'm saying, nor resist. You know, because you're speaking truth. The Lord said, if the Lord be for you, the scripture says, the Most High be for you, who could be against you? Can't nobody say nothing against the truth, man. That's why they be sitting there stuck like they can't say nothing, man. Because it's true. You know? No matter how many lies this devil try to spew out, man. No matter how many times, man. You gotta stand firm, man. It says, for shoes, put on the peace that comes from the good news, so that you will be fully prepared. In addition to all of this, hold up the shield of faith to stop the fiery arrows of the devil. So you gotta have faith. You know, you can't be, walking around here. You gotta believe in this thing. You gotta believe in the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You gotta believe in the Lord, man. What he say, he gonna do. You know?
You gotta speak it.
You gotta speak it into existence. You gotta have faith, man. You know? How you think you gonna get protected if you ain't got faith in the Lord, man? You can't put faith in yourself, man. Believe me, I tried. No, it doesn't work. My way is not good. I fail. I fail every time. Yep.
Like David with Goliath. David knew. He said, you come with some shit with some. He said, sure. He said, I come with the army. David knew I could defeat because the Lord. He had faith for the Lord. It wasn't in his own might. He knew I could take this nigga down through the Lord. It's the Lord. I'm coming in the name of the Lord.
Look at that was mighty.
Yeah. You know, we gotta have the same mindset.
So I came in the name of the Lord of hosts.
Yeah.
Real, bro.
That's the same spirit we gotta have, man. We come with whatever thing we're battling, hey, we can overcome it as long as we have faith and trust in the Lord. You know? But you also gotta do what? You know, because I think you quoted it yesterday. I think that 1 John 4 we're reading. Because if you ain't doing what's right, you ain't gonna have that confidence in the Lord either. That's why you gotta do what's right. Because you know you're doing what's right. When that temptation that comes, that thing come, you know, like I've been doing what's right. No, Lord, on one side. But if you ain't doing what's right, you ain't gonna have that confidence. Because why? You know, in the back of your head, you've been doing some bullshit. So when that time comes, you ain't gonna have the confidence or the faith. Because why? You've been bullshitting, man.
Absolutely.
You know, and we speaking this from experience, man. I'm speaking myself first and foremost, man. You know, that's why it's so important for us to do what's right. So when things do arrive, you ain't panicking, you ain't worrying, because you know, damn, I know I've been doing what the Lord tell me to do, so I know I'm gonna overcome this nigga. You know, whatever it may be, you know, it could be anything, you know. It's like,
No, you good, brother. That's cool.
You got
this
that?
is Ephesians 6:17. Put on salvation as your helmet.
There's no fear. Perfect.
And take the sword of the Spirit,
There's no fear.
which is the word of the Most High. You heard that, right?
Yes, yeah.
Which is the word of the Most High, man. You know, and it's the salvation of your helmet. Read it again. Put on salvation as your helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Put on salvation as your helmet, man. Slack you.
Oh.
That reminds me of a scripture when it said, set your affections on the things above, meaning like, see, this going into your mind. God, you got to guard your mind. You know what I'm saying? In faith, what's that, brother? Slack you.
Allow prison to find.
You can just exit out.
Well, yeah, allow or don't allow.
What it say now? Allow
what? Prison lie to find device on network, local network.
Find the network, right network?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We already on the network.
Go ahead, allow.
No, I mean I guess you can allow whatever. We already on the Wi-Fi in the house.
Yeah, that's tweaking.
Yeah, hey, you gotta hey, it's the word of Yahweh Shem Yahweh. That's our salvation. That's where it lies in, man. Our safety. And the Lord, He instructs us through what? The law, statutes, commandments, man. That's our guide, man. That's how, hey, through the Spirit, man. He governs us, man. It's all up here in the mind, man. That's why we gotta have our mind focused through the Spirit, man. The Spirit tells us what to do and what not to do, man. If we focused in, if we locked in. But if you lean toward the flesh and yield to the flesh, you ain't gonna be locked in. You gonna be open. You know what I'm saying? For Satan to come right on in and how you act. How you do the wrong damn thing, man. Make you make the wrong decisions, man. Because that's what Satan wants. That's why you got to put on all the garment, the whole entire, it's like the whole armor, all the pieces. All the pieces got to be intact, for Satan not to mess you up. He said, put on salvation as your helmet and take the sword of the Spirit. Take the sword of the Spirit, man. We already know what the sword of the Spirit is, man. It's the word, which is the word of the Most High. He said, pray in the Spirit at all times. And we do got to remember that, brother. That's why the scriptures say, pray without ceasing. Brothers, we got to remember that in every situation, anything that we're dealing with, in the moment, man, even if you got to just say it in your mind in prayer, hey, Lord, guide me, instruct me, Lord, and lead me to do the right thing, make the right decision, Lord. Protect me, whatever the situation is, man. Pray in the Spirit, call Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. That's what that means by putting on the whole armor, man, of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. We put our trust totally in the Lord, because we ain't nothing but a sheep. We defenseless, like worms. We defenseless. We really need the Lord. His word is our everything. He's our everything, man. He's our protector. He said, pray in the Spirit at all times and on every occasion. Stay alert. What did he say? Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and everything shall be added unto you. He said, stay alert. Stay alert. They said we got to stay mindful. You know what I'm saying? Walk in the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? We can't be out here bullshitting around, man. Lackadaisical. You know what I'm saying? Just walking around here, like, an ordinary mortal. That's how they are, man. They walk around, it's, just out here with no, they have no rally, because they settle,
Yeah.
Pray in the Spirit at all times and on every occasion. Stay alert and be persistent in your prayers for all believers everywhere.
Be persistent, constantly praying.
Constantly, yeah.
From the moment you wake up to the moment you should be praying all day. When you in the car, before you wake up, pray. Even before you eat, pray.
Yeah.
Shower, pray. Cause remember, this nigga is waging war on us on all levels. The food, the water, even you shower. This nigga, you shower in water. This nigga got chemicals in the water designed to throw your ass off. You gotta pray. Ask, hey, Lord, bless this shower. I'm just saying, even everything, man. You get in the car, pray. Lord, get me to my destination safely and sound. not only praying for yourself, but also pray for your brothers in the faith, man, because we all battle. You know, pray for brothers, man. Brothers be battling things too. You know, don't just pray for your damn self, pray for brothers too, because we all in the fight, man. You know?
Verse 14, verse 11, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 15. Now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, be patient toward all men. And even, with the Akim, man, the Akim is there as a support too. It's a pillar, all right, a rest, all right, that you can come to. And then there's wise men within the body, man, that's going to give you sound judgment, all right? You just got to be able to listen to the Spirit when the Spirit is talking to you, all right? Starve your distractions, man, all right? And feed your focus.
God.
This is verse 15. See that none render evil for evil unto any man, but ever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men. So we have to do it to also uphold a level of righteousness to even people outside of this thing for us. All right, that's how they know that the Lord is with us. All right, it says, rejoice evermore, pray without ceasing. Brother was doing it, because every day when we walk through this filthy, polluted earth, man, you can catch yourself in a trap or a snare that was set for that day. Every day is its own day. And every day you gotta remember that Satan is coming like a roaring lion, seeing who he may devour. So every day, man. Because, like the brother was saying, one mistake, man, that could be your last. The Lord don't have to be merciful to you. He's already given you enough. That's the thing, man. It says, in everything give thanks, for this is the will of the Father and Mashiach concerning you. Quench not the spirit, despise not prophesying, prove all things, hold fast to that which is good, abstain from all appearances of evil.
Hold that fast. What's that? This truth, man. This word. Say, hold that fast. What's the time that come? Let no man take thy crown. It's one this truth, man. Hold this, man, because you got to think. It's all Satan's whole job is to get you to go off. He's going to use things that you're attached to, things that you love and enjoy, that may feel good to the flesh, to try to get you to go off and take your crown, man. You can't allow that to happen, man. You know?
Hold on, real quick. This is short. It's emergency. Well, what y'all just said. This is Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation.
Mm-hmm.
Fear of the Lord is his strength. You know what I'm saying? Because wisdom and knowledge, man, that's what's going to get us through that fear. That fear, man, especially right now, what's going on, looking at the prophecies. That wisdom, like you said, the fear. And we see it. The Lord is near. So what persons are we to be? That's when that wisdom kick in, because we can see the Lord's close. So we really got to get our houses in order. We got to get our mind made right in these times, man. We got to stop the BSing around. Ain't no more time left. No more time left for all the madness, man, and the simplicity. Just being a simpleton. Ain't no time for that. Now judgment must start within us ourselves, even more so than ever. Let's make righteous judgment now, man, and judging beneath the surface of our own selves. Go ahead, brother. Y'all get it.
Wow. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:23. And the very God of peace sanctify you wholly. And I pray, God, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless to the coming of our Lord Yahushua. And that's what we should strive to be, man. Yeah. For the eyes of thing about it, us in this faith field, we actually are empaths. And empaths basically get empathetic to the next man next to you, man. You know, not just your own concerns, your own cares, but you know, the cares of another. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on with this? I'm happy feeling. You know, he cool, you know, being careful not to offend. You know, so that he may come up with a charge to accuse him. You know, and man, this delicate thing, man. It's a very delicate balance. You know, and we serve the Lord with fear, man, and humility. Because at any moment, man, one mistake, you know, offending a brother, or offending a Lord, anything, man, Lord, you know, cash you away. That's where your fear gotta be, man. But also having hope that the Lord have mercy on you. Also knowing that the Lord is not unable to forgive you of your sins, man, knowing that He can, you know, have mercy on you, but you don't want to take advantage of that either in a wrong sense. You know, being careful for nothing. You know, because the Lord, he's a very terrible, powerful God, man. And that's something that the world has forgotten. You know, that's something that Yahweh Shai is going to bring that glory down upon the earth. He's going to remind the world of what type of power he is. Alright? You don't want to be on the side where the Lord don't choose you to be there with him.
It's crazy about God, and that's how you know you need the Makakadosh, the Holy Spirit, for discernment, knowing what the truth is, what lies, what the truth is, and what a lie is. Because a lot of people are being deceived right now. Apostate, what do you call them?
Apostasy.
Apostasies. All of these false prophets. You know, these pretenders and actors. They're going to tell you what you want to hear anyway.
Charlatans.
Right, so they can get your money, you know, really, and also because they paid off. You know, hirelings, you know, they keep you distracted. You know, keep you in a lie, believing this bullshit, man. They're going to cater to what your flesh wants. Completely opposite of what the Lord is telling you, man. You know? And the Lord didn't come, you know what I'm saying, to bring peace on earth. But that's what they teaching you. They teaching you what? Peace, peace, peace. No, man. Ain't no peace. This is wartime. It's been wartime. You know what I'm saying? We fighting a war. A spiritual war. Not a carnal one. You know what I'm saying? But they teaching you to be comfortable and settled. And folly and BS. You know? Constantly. You know? This is Matthew 10 and 35 real quick. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and against daughter, and against his mother, and against daughter-in-law. Her mother-in-law, against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
God.
Own house, it's like an own household. He that loveth father and mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son and mother, sons like a son or daughter more than me, is not worthy of me. But the point is this: the Lord, He said He didn't come to bring peace on the earth, man. But in fact, I started in the wrong verse. I should be starting in Matthew 10 and 34. Let me start at reading 34 real quick. Because that wasn't even the point that I was trying to make. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Basically, the Lord came, you know what I'm saying, with a sword. And basically, people think that that's talking about like literally a sword, but it's spiritual. You know, basically he came, you know, to separate, to sift, you know, the righteous from the wicked. And he's doing it all through the preaching of the gospel, the truth. You know, because some of our people, man, ain't gonna get this truth, man. Because why? They settled. They settled here in Babylon, man. They like to hear the good things, the smooth things, the lies, the deceits, you know. And that's the point, man. That's why we out here doing what we gotta do, you know, preach this gospel, man. And come up out of it. You know? I got another one if y'all ain't holding. What y'all holding?
I got one.
Go ahead.
Psalms 144:1, a Psalm of David. It says, "Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teaches my hands to war and my fingers to fight. My goodness and my fortress, my high tower, and my deliverer, my shield, and in he in whom I trust, who subdued my people under me." So you gotta remember, it's the Lord also, he teaches how to fight. Psalms 144:1 says, "Blessed be the Lord my strength, and which teaches my hands to war and my fingers to fight. My goodness and my fortress, my high tower, and my deliverer, my shield, and he in whom I would trust, who subdued my people under me." Who subdued my people under me. So in spirit, you know, we know David, you know, we know it's not a physical war, it's a spiritual war. So the Lord now, we can apply the scripture now because it applies to spirit, man. The Lord teaches us how to fight. And how you learn how to fight is through this word. How you know how to fight? Prayer. You know, fasting, seeking guidance from the Lord. Whether it's through prayer, fasting, you know, getting counsel from brothers. You know, because some situation you may be in, you may not know how to overcome it or deal with it. You know, you may have to go get counsel. Hey, bro, man, how the fuck am I get out of here? And the Lord, you know, he give you certain counsel, you know, the ones you can trust, you know, because the brother, certain brothers you can go to about certain things. The Lord, like, yeah, you got to do this and that through the brother. You know? And if you hear from more than one source through the spirit from a brother, more likely it's the answer that you know, the Lord giving you. You know? But you gotta, okay, take heed to that, man. No, this is what you gotta do. You know, but if you find yourself like, you know, because you hear from multiple people tell you the same damn thing, but you're trying to trick yourself. It's like, no. And that's when you're going to lose, man. The Lord will give you the answer. The answer be clear. But you got to have faith in it too as well. David understood through the spirit. He couldn't never defeat his enemies without the Most High. Yahweh Bashar Shai. We got to have the same mindset too, man. You know, we can't overcome this world without the Lord. Like the elder was saying earlier, man, we're worms. We're like sheep amongst wolves, man. This is a dark ass world. It's a bunch of vampire, leeching, blood sucking ass demons out here, man. People are users, man. You know what I'm saying? We're defenseless, man.
In this society, man,
yeah, we need the Lord.
And the earth was getting into the hand of the weak.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? All we got is the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, man. We got the spirit. That's it, man. We stick with the Lord.
And it's crazy. The more you realize you come to this truth, the more you realize how feeble you are. You realize how weak you are. You really need the Lord, bro. You know, you can't overcome anything without Yahweh Shino Shop. You know? It says, that was it on that.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 9. And we'll start quick. Verse 24, it says, "Know you not that they which run in a race run all, but one receive the prize, so run that you may obtain." Right? So have, you know, me and the elders breaking bread earlier, we were saying, like, you know, have a goal, have a plan. You know, we come in together with something, have a plan, set a plan, and execute. You know, that way you know where you're going, man. You know, because it's not good being aimless in the faith. You know, you really got to meditate on what it is you're trying to achieve in each one of those steps, man. What direction are you going in? Why are you going this direction? Man? How to understand it? Why am I going this direction? You know, what am I going to get out of this? You know, that's being mindful, man. Instead of just doing things that's, you know, in the flesh. Then, you know, once you just do something in the flesh, you'll find yourself looking around like, damn, how did I get here? why do I decide to go here? You know? Now you're dealing with, all type of demons plaguing you in the mind, man. Spirit all over. So basically be mindful of where you're going, man. How you're pressing towards the mark, man.
Yeah.
It says, verse 25, and every man that strives for the mastery is temperate in all things.
Hey, if I make temperance, having what? Self-control. That's another thing the Lord teaches, the mastery art of self-control, man. Controlling what? Your lust, your appetite, your mouth, your anger. The Lord teaching us now, man, because right now, at times, man, people are provoked. It's all kind of spirits, man. As we get closer, people going to be provoking you more, trying to get you out of character. I'm speaking for myself. I know that a lot in my life, walk lately, man. People are just saying, doing shit to piss you off, to get you to spaz out. And that's when you do that, that's when Satan wins.
Yeah.
That's why you got to have in mind.
Yeah.
You got to be mindful to you can take the low certain times.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can't even say anything when you want to.
God.
It's all independent of the gospel. Too is your behavior. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just what you know. As far as that precept upon precept, it's also what you apply. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes in these situations that may occur, you have to really just maintain.
Yeah.
Maintain in the spirit. Even though it might be vexing as hell, you really want to just, in the spirit, repeat this shit. You know what I'm saying? Out of these people, but you gotta have order.
Yeah, if I make some battles ain't meant to be fought.
Yeah.
Somebody you gotta just walk away from. Like, you know what? I ain't equipped enough to fight that battle through the spirit. So I'm just step away. That's what, just being quiet, just taking the low, like that was saying, man. Like a good example with David when he was around. We was talking about earlier. David behaved himself wisely when he came around with Abimelech. He knew he was around somebody that could put his ass to death for the most. So what he did, he played crazy. Spit on it. He knew the situation he was in. So the Lord, that was wisdom. So the Lord, sometimes you gotta be like, you know what, I ain't finna, I can take it there, but let me just play dumb right now. Ooh, you can do it the way you're playing dumb, just being quiet. Just look at it, you know what I'm saying? That's what anything, man, in his life, man. Sometimes every situation don't cause you to say any goddamn thing. It's just best to be quiet sometimes. Some people don't require a reaction. I'm learning that for myself, man. People like to provoke you. They're like, you know what? You got it, bro. Have a blessed day and just walk away.
Yeah, that's like what the Lord said. This is Matthew 5:39. This is what I say unto you, that he resist not evil, or whosoever shall smite you on the right cheek, turn to him the left also.
God. And if I may, that don't mean somebody punch your ass in your mouth for you don't defend yourself. No, man. That's talking about like, somebody do something to you, just like, you know what? You got it, bro.
You got it, bro.
You won.
Amen. So, because at the end of the day, it ain't about exalting ourselves. It's about exalting our emotion and our shine. This is about who it is. Okay, this is what
even dealing with your lady or something, man. And then like, you know what? I ain't for. I'm walk away. And it's easier said than done, but you know what I'm saying? You got it. I'm not gonna argue with your ass.
The flesh comes with vexation. The spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. It says verse 25 again, latter end. Now they do it to obtain the corruptible prayer, but we in incorruptible. I therefore so run not as uncertainly, so fight I not as one that beat the air.
Right, we trying to get that prize, man. We trying to get that crown of salvation, life eternal. That crown, man. Be in the kingdom of heaven, be the elect. We running a race for that. So hey, we forsake this current world right here. They running for what? Vainglory? Temporal? That's vain. The things that's going to be destroyed, man. Thermonuclear fire, man. That madness, man. That mentality, all of that is going to be destroyed in the lake of fire, man. You know, we run in a race for the incorruptible crown. You know, a crown that no man can take. Nobody can take it away from us, man. You know, because the Lord gave it to us. You know, through the Spirit, man, of the Lord gave it to us. Nobody can take it away, man. You know, that's why we don't have that mentality, man. That holy, righteous mentality, man. That's why you hold on to your crown tightly. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, this is a thing of discipline. It's a thing we got to work at. You know what I'm saying? We got to exercise discipline in this flesh. You know, so that no man take our crown. You know, we ain't running this race in vain. We're running this thing, man, to get that crown of life. You know, everlasting life. You know, they do it to obtain, you know, status. You know, that's crazy, man. That's madness in a temporal setup. Because that's all this is. This is a temporal setup. This is like a
simulation.
That's the word I was looking for. This is a simulation of us to be made better. This is a simulation, man, for us to learn. You know, go ahead, brother. You got it. That's right.
It says, verse 47. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others.
He said, put his body in subjection. He's talking about the flesh. Things of the flesh, man. You gotta have some discipline. You know, through the Spirit of Yahweh, you gotta have that discipline. Put it in subjection, man. Because we don't want to be out here telling others, you know, not to sin, but here it is. We're sinning. Mm-hmm. That makes no sense. And that brings up confusion. We're supposed to be under the Most High. The Most High is not under confusion. And neither should we be. You know, we're supposed to uphold His name by doing the right things, by doing holy things, living a holy life, you know, a righteous lifestyle, you know. That's the things, that's why this is a fight. We got to be mindful, man, of the things that we do, the things that we say, especially in public, man. I'm getting constantly reminded of that lately, even more. And the Lord, you know, we've been talking to me more like, hey, man, you have to learn how to be more discreet. Even with that, being more discreet, man. Don't, sometimes you ain't got to be always just perfectly honest with everything, man. Some stuff you got to learn how to keep to your damn self. You know?
Discretion.
Have discretion. Have wisdom, bro. Use wisdom, man. You know?
Yeah.
You know, have some good sense. Go ahead, brother.
No, you're right, because, you know, we're in a time where what you can say and people can use against you. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's good. Sometimes everybody got to know your damn business, man.
Yeah.
That's another thing I'm learning, man. Because you got people out there trying to, people are sick. People looking for any type of, they see any joy in you. They trying to find any way they can destroy your ass, man. You know?
Facts.
People are fucking in that bunch of busybody gossiping people. This is the world we're living in, bro. So that's why it's good. Just be quiet. You ain't got to let everybody know what's going on, man. You know, because we're in an age where people want to expose everybody, man. That weird ass shit, you know? You know, so that's what's good. Just be quiet sometimes, man. You know?
Sometimes you might just have to take that deep breath and be like,
yeah.
It is what it is, man.
Weird world, bro.
It's a weird world, man. You know? You just gotta be like, okay.
You got it, bro.
I mean, the old people curse their ass out in the spirit. Even with that, man, even though you tell them something that's right, you know, sometimes you just can't. You just can't. Hey, the Lord told us that you can't cast your pearls to the swine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, hey, man, hey, whatever, man. Okay, you got it, my friend. You know? You gotta use wisdom.
Finishing off, it says, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. Those who preach to other people about serving how I should be on the job, but you yourself don't have the proper discipline to show them what that looks like.
We read that on the First Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 11.
God. I got it. 1 Thessalonians 4 and 11. That you study to be quiet and to do your own business and to work with your own hands as we commanded you. It says that ye may walk honestly towards them that are without, and that ye may lack of nothing. And study to be quiet, man. Just be quiet. Just something I'm learning. We ain't perfect. I ain't perfect. Sometimes just be quiet. Everything don't require your reaction. Everybody don't require your saying. Sometimes it's just good to just look and that's why Lord gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, man. Sometimes just look and observe, man. And you can learn a lot just by being quiet.
That's the spirit.
You can see people fucking mannerisms. You pick up on things when you're quiet. When you're constantly talking, you ain't really looking around, man. Like in the art of war, you talking, the enemy see your ass. He can hear you. In war, you a sniper. You want to be as quiet as possible. Being a sniper requires extreme discipline. You a sniper, man. You probably have to shit on yourself because you got to sit in one position for so long to get that 1 kill, and it may take a whole week you sitting in that same position. You can move one, it can give up your spot. I'm using the physical war to explain spiritual war. Sometimes you gotta be quiet, man. Sometimes Lord wants you to sit your ass still somewhere. Be quiet, sit here. You may be in a situation where you want to rush back to some bag or go back to some. The Lord like, no, I'm gonna sit your ass right here and wait and be still, man. That's another thing, man. Lord teaching us how to have patience.
Colossians 4 and 5. Hold on, it's on the same thing right here, real quick. Describe that real. It's a short one.
Colossians 4 and 5, it says, walk with wisdom towards them that are without, redeeming the time. Let your speech be seasoned with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. That's what say you answer every man according to, you answer man according to folly, answer man. Because some people be like, this nigga talking. Well, I ain't finna talk to this nigga about no Bible. You got it, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Be a nigga talk, think he knows some shit. You like, you know what? Yeah.
Because he may seem it wise in this world.
That's why it's important to study the quiet. See, again, listening to our outside. See, start learning how to hear you listening to somebody in their speech and talking, what they saying. You'll know how to deal with them. Boy, sometimes the spirit that have you deal with them, show them the right way, and sometimes the spirit that you draw back. Like, no, this nigga just ain't gonna get it. All through the spirit, man. In order to give that discernment, man.
God.
Show them. Now, hold your peace. You know what I'm saying? Keep holding your peace.
Because wow, we come to some times where we might have to really practice this shit. With Jacob's trouble, we ain't gonna know who to trust. Maybe, hey, bro, you gotta sit there and be quiet. You gonna be, you know what I'm saying?
So those that said let your speech be seasoned with salt, basically with wisdom. See, you can draw them in with that. You know what I'm saying? And also, you will know how to answer a fool. You know what I'm saying? Like, without even, dealing with them. Like, they're like, okay, all in the spirit, man.
The scripture, so I would say a lot, but with few words or something like that. I forgot how to go. You say much with few words. You ain't got over. I'm gonna look it up. You got time.
I'm gonna read this real quick in a drop. Real quick.
I got it. Yeah.
It said, you got a short verse? Real quick, brother Sloppy. My bad. You got a short.
Nah, that's the one I had.
You look it up in
yeah, I got it. If you want to get it real quick.
Yeah, but what you got?
This is Sirach 32 and 8. It says, let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words. Be as one that knoweth and yet holdeth his tongue.
Because that's a skill.
Yeah.
Being able to say very few words, but saying a whole lot. Those are like ancient proverbs. That you can live by it. Then also go when and when not to. Speak. That's a gift.
Yeah, it's called the gift of God. In a sense, having that gift of God, knowing being seasoned, in wisdom, and saying the right things, pleasantly. Well, sometimes we'll be back. It's a beautiful thing. You let your speech be seasoned with salt.
There's power in silence.
There's power in that. And how the way you carry yourself. They already like to deem us, a certain kind of way. Let me put it that way. They like to deem us a certain kind of way because of who we are. But we are the ones with the truth. It is what it is. Go ahead, brother. What y'all got?
That was it on that.
So Proverbs 1. Let me start at 2. In fact, stop at the top. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. Because basically how you carry yourself shows what status of the man is. A vain babbler is considered a fool. Because as we're speaking, we don't have to. My brother was wanting to be a sniper, basically, soaking in the environment without necessarily having to participate in it.
It's so mighty that you say that too. Even like you be wanting to get engaged in certain conversations, but the spirit just be like, no. Like in a particular situation, I was just recently in, and I heard this man spewing out all types of madness, man, through the spirit, man, and I was listening. And I really wanted to get up and go in there and engage, but the spirit is like, nah, let them be. You know what I'm saying? Don't engage. This ain't the time right now. You gotta, know when and when not to too. All through the spirit. So I just, kind of like try to cut my ear off onto what he was saying and focus on what I was over there doing in the first place. But this is vexing his hand. This man was just screwing up, man. He's screwing up the word. But the spirit was like, nah, man, don't cash your clothes out to the sky. The spirit showed me, he's deserving. Like he ain't gonna get it. This dude ain't gonna get it. Don't waste your time, nigga. Let him be.
Yeah, because this word is it's like a beautiful song. And you remember the movie The Five Heartbeats?
Yeah.
When they was up there performing, they had bullshit together. He was messing up the melody. Yeah, he was like, oh man, messing my songs up, man. And he kept looking back at the dude playing the piano, and he was like, until he finally snapped and went back there and kicked him off the piano and started jamming, man. That's how I felt. I know this, but the spirit, he gives you the discernment when to do that and when not to.
That's why it's important to do the spirit to also practice on being quiet.
Yeah.
So you can hear the spirit. You can hear the spirit, and the spirit of W, man. This is Proverbs 17 and 28, real quick. Even a fool when he is holding his peace is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding.
And this is something we all learn. We ain't, I'll speak myself. We ain't come in. We ain't perfect. Something you just learning, man. We learning. This is an overnight. It's not no overnight thing, man. This is a process.
It's a process, man.
And we learn it through what? Trial and error, mistakes.
Trial and error, brother. It's the spirit.
Because Jake can hear us like we got it all together. Like, nah, but we figuring this shit out as we figuring out through what? Our mistakes. Maybe I shouldn't have said that shit. Now you regret that's what you said because it's kicking your ass in the ass now. Because all you had to do was shut up. Or you reacted a certain way. You're like, damn, I should have just not reacted. Now you kicking yourself, but next time, next time the situation presents itself, I'm gonna just shut up then. And then that's how. Yeah.
Scripture can tell you your left hand goes with your right hand. Some things aren't fit for a especially if you're dealing with you at work, you're not going to work proclaiming to be into life. We already know how these people look at us. You know, and they just trouble. And we don't need nobody to get you from your job. Like that nigga right there. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with your reader, man. She should know all of your affairs. You know, that's another thing, man. That's a wisdom show. That's why when woman knows everything about you, she can use that against you. She knows how you move. Then take away history and the allure of you as well, man. And now you got somebody who's using the way you move as a tactician against you.
Yeah, because in the art and warfare, intel is very important. What you know about your enemy is very important. That's why they have intelligence. You know, before they send actual troops on the ground, they got the intel on their enemies. You ain't just gonna invade somebody. You know, just like a good account was in Nebuchadnezzar in the book of Judith. He said, "What about these people?" The dude had the intel on the nation of Israel, the history. You know, and the same thing with us, man. Everybody gotta know your history. Everybody gotta know, you know, some things just be quiet on. You know, sometimes it's good to just be, you know, mysterious, you know.
Yeah, man, because you know, this world is not your friend. You know, and all it takes is for you to rub the wrong person wrong, for them to spew out your secrets or treat you as an enemy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what teaches us to have wisdom, man. You know, discernment, how to move out through the spirit of God, how much you have shot. You know, he teaches us those things to protect us. You know, we learn how to be, you know, disciplined. Even with that, man, that's a discipline in itself. You know, just learning how to be more quiet, man. You know, and listen. You know, you obtain wisdom like that in itself. Listening, man. Like, I never really thought about it like that. Sometimes you can just listen in your own thoughts, man. Just be in the spirit, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's another form of discipline, man. Order. You know, for you. You know, so that you can make it. Go ahead, brother. Get what you got, man. We be ready to pull something.
Proverbs 1 and 5. A wise man will hear and will increase in learning.
That's it. A wise man will hear, you know, and increase in learning. Because you can, man, you learn in so many different ways, man. Different things, man. About everything. Everything, man. Like being in certain places, certain situations, you know, in life, being around certain people. You know, you get a grasp of things. You know, more wisdom. That's why it's good sometimes just to, you know, listen more than to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, brother.
And a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I mean, and the key thing, a man of understanding. Because a man of understanding will understand that, you know, there's, you know, other ways to get, he can be better than his own ways, man. And you get counsel with somebody who has more experience, you know, he won't listen. He's going to consider that, man. Like, you know what? I like that. You know, I never looked at it like that before. Come up. You know? That's a man that's in humility anyway. That's the spirit of being. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to get anything. The only way you're going to be able to learn anything, you got to be in the spirit of humility. The spirit of humility is being in the spirit of being willing. You know what I'm saying? You're willing to be, you know, re-taught, to learn. You're willing to learn, basically. Somebody who's willing to learn. You know, if you ain't in humility, you ain't gonna be able to learn shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, nigga, fuck his play.
I got it.
I ain't trying to hear that yet. And then you go out and die. You ain't listen.
No.
You got more than, I mean, my bad.
Yeah, I got one. Mm-hmm. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise with their dark sayings.
Mm-hmm.
Fear Yahweh. The fear of Yahweh is the fear of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
And that's facts. Then why they going to do what? Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. And this is what niggas do. They lean toward their own understanding. And that's what get them messed up every time. You know, you gotta learn how not to, just, be in your own damn way. You gotta humble yourself, man. And he says, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. So, all your ways, man, you gotta, acknowledge the Heavenly Father, man. It's the Heavenly Father. Who can direct your path, man? He'll make a clear path for you, man. But you gotta, have faith in Yahweh Shah and trust in his word, not your own. Your own way ain't gonna get you there, man. Real quick, I think I got a little bit more of that. Real quick, Lord, man. In all thy ways acknowledge, this is Proverbs 3:6. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai and depart from evil. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, don't depend on yourself and your own eyes. You'll end up being destroyed. Damn. So with that, man, we give all praises going on to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Double honors to the elder and the elder apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to all you rocking and teaching this truth and sincerity in the full fullness of the earth. Till next time, shalom.
Shalom. And the Baba Ball. Chemotherapy 2026 soon. The Iowa was